This is Streltsov of Belarus. He failed at 180. I was mentioning Alexei Kosov. He's put the bar, originally put it up to 182. He's now come back down to 181, the same as Venskal of Belarus. Well, we started so well, but now there's an awful lot of red about the scoreboard.
There is. There's a lot of pressure kicking in right now. Some of these athletes will have seen the scoreboard. Some will choose to let their coaches worry about it and stay out of the hustle and bustle of what goes on in the back room. But here, just throws the shoulders back. If you throw your shoulders back, it's going to send the hips forward, puts a swing on the bar. Very hard to control overhead. Well, here we go.
14 out of 24 lifts failed.
Didzbalis just pointing to his elbow as he comes onto the stage, indicating to the referees that his arms don't lock very well. Needs this. And that is a brilliant recovery. That just shows the strength of character of Didzbalis, having missed his first two. And not only that, his second one was a deadlift. Brilliant recovery.
Yeah, just a pity that he did have all those early problems, because I think he could have gone, if he gets the technique right, he could have gone certainly a few kilos further, but as it is, 180.
Well, one of the quickest lifters that we've seen so far. That's just how strong and powerful he is. Not a great elbow lock, but it's not a problem so long as there's no movement in the elbows.
And now Alexei Kosov, you can see 1 kilo up. This is the man who holds the national record at 187.
Just went a fraction too early. I think he was sitting back on it. Let's have a look from the side if we can.
This is very disappointing, because there's a lot of men who've got so close.
Yeah, just leaning, throwing the shoulders back, leaving the bar out in front. It's only a fraction, but it's enough to miss the lift.
So Lithuania in the lead at the moment with Didzbalis on 180, but he's finished lifting. In the silver medal position, the champion, Kidibayev of Kazakhstan, still with 2 attempts to go. And now Venskal here, last attempt, 181 to go back into the lead.
Oh, he's gone again.
No, almost a repeat.
Yeah, if you remember, that's how he missed his first attempt. Just got to question whether or not he has a knee or a hip injury on the right side, because he's sitting into the left side, favouring that. It's almost like he landed it symmetrically and then drifted. Good to there, and then over he goes.
Well, the lifts are running out in the first half of this 94-kilo competition. It started off, and I thought we were in for a cracking first half of lifting, but it's rather degenerating into too many failures. And now Alexei Kosov going for 181. And at the moment he's down in 5th place, but this would put him right back in the mix. It would put him into gold momentarily, at least.
Yes, he's got it.
Yep, and what a pity about the missed second attempt. And I say that because although he's gone into the lead, he can do no more. And there are just 2 attempts left. And guess who owns those 2 attempts? Zashulan Kidibayev of Kazakhstan, the defending champion. But Kosov may well come into his own. He's posted a relatively modest opening clean and jerk, but who knows, maybe that's tactical in another way. Now, Kidibayev, tall, powerful, rangy athlete. 183, taking a 5-kilo increase, and this would instantaneously give him the Snatch gold medal, and he would have 1 further attempt, and who knows, having built up a couple of kilos advantage over his nearest pursuer, mighty go for the world record. No.
Well, it spat him out the back.
So you have another Russian who's been lifting conservatively, lifting within his range, who now leads as in the gold medal position and might just be the beneficiary.
He may well be, but looking at the scoreboard, the reason Kidabayev has decided to carry on up to 183 regardless. Kidabayev has such a huge clean and jerk. He's down to start on 217 compared to Kosov's 200, so he's not looking at Kosov as a threat on the overall. But with one attempt remaining, 183 would catapult him back up into gold medal and give him a substantial lead going into the second half of the competition.
Taisto. Just keeping everybody in order. From Finland, Taisto. Hosted the World Championships back in 1990. Just trying to think about this. Was it 7?
I think I competed in that one.
Was it 7 or 8?
It was around
in Lahti.
Then. Around then, yeah.
It was chilly.
It was freezing.
It was chilly.
There was snow on the ground.
Got a new coat there. Thought it was the right place to get a coat. So,
was he limping up the steps there? Favouring one leg, that's for sure.
I thought he was just a bit clumsy going up the stairs.
Don't think we're going to get a replay on that.
So, at the moment in bronze, Dizbalis of Lithuania in silver, Kosov in gold. Well, a Russian gold medal, Alexei Kosov of Russia. Only 21 years of age, but he's taken it, and that's a first major senior elite gold medal for the young Russian. And for Kidabayev, well, he's going to have to rely on the clean and jerk.
Yes, he will. That's going to be disappointing. Only 1 out of the 3, as so many of these men have achieved in this competition so far. But there's your winner.
Yeah, quiet little smile. That would have done him no harm. So there you can see the enormous amount of red on that table there, particularly on those third attempts. But Kosov 181, a kilo ahead of Dizbalis, and you can see Dizbalis just a wee bit lighter, then 178 down to the defending champion. So Kosov's got a 3 kilo advantage. And likewise to the man in 4th place, Alexander Venskel, who missed out on that bronze medal because of his slightly heavier body weight. Now those the ranking positions. Saw Thomas Zielinski on the 2nd page there. Really didn't go for him at all. He's down in 12th place. And his brother Adrian only 5th.
These are the elements that must be overcome. I need to prepare to face them, to beat them with an insatiable hunger, driven by forces that few can understand. For me and for my people, this is my season. I live for winter. Bring it on.
So 208 for Adrian Zielinski. It's come down a couple of kilos. Was going to go for 210, so obviously maybe not so confident.
Well, his brother came down 5 kilos. So is that the game plan, or has something gone wrong? Well, looks good to me. At the end of the day, it's not the weights that you start on that are important, it's what you finish on. And sometimes achieving 3 successful lifts, having made steady progress, is better than gambling everything and starting high and missing them.
And getting the best possible finish position, significant in these World Championships, given that those positions earn points and those points result in places for the Rio Olympic Games. Every nation can send up to 6 men and 4 women, but it won't be until the end of these championships, when all the points are collected up for all the teams in all the categories, that we'll sort of know where we are, which is one reason why please don't send us a question saying who has got Olympic places and who has not, because to be perfectly honest, it's an impossible question to answer, sadly. So Kosov, 10 kilo increase. So he responded to the situation, but so has everybody around him.
Ooh.
Ooh. Certainly no smile. Very gingerly down the stairs. Now there's a couple of men on 211. So they've either got to send him out in less than 2 minutes, or they could possibly try to put it up.
He's trying to walk it off, not 100% sure what the injury is. It could be left side of his back, it could be to do the glute, hip, knee. There's definitely something on that left side. He's going to have to put that out of his mind if he's going to come out here and execute on a 3rd attempt. One minute 10 on the clock. He's got plenty of time, but the previous attempt won't have taken too much out of him. I think the coach is saying, come on, one more, and then we'll get you fixed up.
But you're absolutely right. This is mental as much as it is physical, and he's going to have to put any thoughts of impossibility out of his mind here. It's got to be all about lifting this. Important lift, 210.
No, that's a back.
Not there.
Yeah.
And he's left on 381, which at the moment leaves him in overall silver, but sadly for him, well, a good consolation prize of 181, getting the gold in the snatch, but nobody would want to see a lifter finish in that way. But obviously, whatever it was, whatever tweaked or spasmed in his back.
It wouldn't surprise me if that ridiculously quick warm-up has done something. He would have literally had to go from one lift to the next with virtually no recovery. Technical controller just holding the lifter back. And the reason there's a delay here is because Kosov, as we saw, came out, attempted the weight, but the bar didn't pass his knees. Therefore, technically, it doesn't count as an attempt, so they had to let the clock run down just in case he wanted to come back and have another go.
So Dmitry Shumak, 5 kilo increase here to put him up to 385, weighed in at 93.74, which is heavier than Adrian Zielinski, who was 93.69. So this effectively to put him up into 2nd place.
Looks good to me. Just a strong, powerful man. Technically pretty sound. Just using that explosive, dynamic, powerful, aggressive technique to his advantage.
And another man getting a personal best, in this case by a kilo, in respect to the clean and jerk.
Well, a little wobbly overhead, not quite as dynamic as we saw him on his first attempt.
Improvement, but
his
2 to 1
elbow.
against.
I should be more confident. Left elbow went only a fraction though, just as he was recovering on the jerk. Just there. Tiniest movement, but it's enough to be failed. Just hear the boos from the crowd that they realised that it was a failure.
So Dimitri Shumak actually in the lead. I'd counted that the second attempt would have been 2:10, but in fact, of course, it was 2:11 to add to the 175. So he's got 386. He's in first place, ahead at the moment of Adrian Zielinski on 385, and 381 is Kosov, who's now finished his lifting, and likewise Ali Hashemi on 380 in fourth place. So Tomasz Zielinski, he's got one more attempt at 212.
Looks like he's coming out on the same weight for sure.
You've got to say, unfortunately, this competition hasn't really caught fire, has it? Maybe we've been spoilt because we've had so many good competitions.
We have. I mean, the snatch kind of went a bit flat when we saw so many failed lifts, but so far not too bad on the clean and jerk. Let's see how this hots up.
Yeah, 18 failures out of 33 in the snatch phase.
Oh, either mistimed it or the head's gone. Just want to see one or two athletes coming on here now, fired up and ready to go.
So Venskel, 2:13. Venskel had posted originally 2:15, so again, a moderation here for his opening attempt. Lying in fourth place, bringing forward 178 kilos. Only 1 out of 3 in the first half. Now, that's better.
Nice.
Doesn't waste any time at all, uses the movement, and actually there's no problem with that.
No problems at all. He's just very, very tall, so long levers means the bar has an awful long way to travel. It's even worse on the clean and jerk compared to the snatch, and he's going to have to work that bit harder than everybody else to generate more height on the bar. Bounces out straight away, which is good. Dip and driver straight, just twists a little on the dip. That's what sent him round to the side.
So Adrian Zielinski's got 2 lives left at the moment, and successful at 208 kilos. So this is a 6 kilo increase to take him to 391. Venskel on 391. Zielinski 93.69. And Venskel 93.86, the heaviest man. So this for the overall lead. And of course the lead in the clean and jerk as well.
That's good. And a small celebration, one attempt still to go.
Yes, he's got one more card to play, and the coaches have got to be very clever with this.
They have. Just watch here. Drops his chest as he stands up, but so strong in the back that he can control it. Hips nicely underneath the shoulders. Shoulders under the bar.
That's a very good lift, you know, at 214 for his new weight category. Okay, he was in this weight category last year, but he didn't total. But essentially, you know, it's been this year that he's really been able to focus on it. But 214, that's decent. But the coaches have got to now decide very cleverly. They've got to watch the competition just a little bit to see whether there's a chance of him staying in the medals. But now, Didsbalis, this is where he really enjoys himself usually. Well, he's going to have to try again.
Well, let's hope we're not about to see the same as we did on the snatch, where he missed his first 2 attempts. But he does have the problem of a weak elbow lock. Therefore, this overhead phase is always going to be tough, having to hold the weight on bent arms.
That said, this is a weight that he has consistently achieved, or surpassed, actually.
Yeah,
and now, Liu Hao. Now, nothing in the first half of the competition. 3 failures, dreadfully disappointing, but can he excite us in the clean and jerk? Goodness gracious, we need a bit of excitement, Mikhaila. This hasn't caught fire yet.
Coming out on 215, personal best of 221. So again, it's a pretty big starter. Well, threw his shoulders back a long way, and the bar hit him hard in the receive position. Oh, I don't think so.
No.
Dipped, hesitated, then tried driving, tried pushing too early. That was all over the shop. He's felt something in his back.
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, he was so out of balance.
Well, watch here, shoulders whipped back, decks him at the bottom. Good leg strength to stand. There's a dip, almost paused. It was a fight all the way.
Didsbalis for Lithuania now. I'd really like the fight back to start now, not with the 3rd and final attempt. But he is a man who traditionally, his percentages are never that high in terms of lifts achieved in any competition. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No.
There was movement in the elbows.
Yeah, I thought for one moment, but then you're right. I agree with you about the elbow movement. And red lights across the 3 referees. And it is down to the final attempt, so whatever his total is going to be, if he gets a total, it's going to be just 2 out of 6.
Clean was fine. Okay, there's movement there.
Yeah.
I think he even put it down before the buzzer.
And of course, Lithuania, one of those countries, like Great Britain, doesn't have a huge reservoir of talent, actually less than us in Great Britain. And therefore, you know, he's looking for Olympic qualification. He's looking for one of those individual sort of top 10 places.
Top 15 for men, I think, isn't it?
but what? Yeah, same sort of thing. But basically, you know, this is, where's this going to leave him if he doesn't get it? Now, back to China.
No.
You know, there's nothing worse, is there, than you've had a long flight here, you've done the training, you get on the stage, and then it just doesn't happen, and you've got that awful long journey home. I think it's one of the worst journeys you can have, where you're sort of trapped in a plane. You can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, and when you've had a bad day at the office, it sort of plays on you unless you put yourself to sleep.
It's a horrible feeling, and it stays with you for a good couple of weeks after the competition. But come on then, let's see if Ditsbalis can pull this out on his third attempt like he did on the snatch. He came out fired up on that third attempt for the snatch. He looks much more fired up now.
Yeah, well, this is his sort of trademark competition. As I said, he doesn't score highly in percentage terms about the number of good lifts he gets, but let's get a decent clean, reasonable...
Works hard.
Economy, but no. And this, you know, if this was 2017, the World Championships after Rio, maybe you know, you can be philosophical about it, but this is the 2015 World Championships, and if you don't get a total, you don't get any points, and the chances of getting an outright place have just disappeared.
Yeah, he's going to leave here very disappointed. No medal, which he was quite capable of.
He's got a consolation silver from the snatch, but it's not really a consolation. He came here to secure a place for Rio 2016.
Yeah, of course he did, but he's looking for top 15. One lifter per country by right to qualify himself as an individual, because they just don't have a strong enough team.
Could come to the Europeans in Norway in April.
He can qualify at the Europeans. There's a couple of other events that he can get his world ranking up. He's probably already got a world ranking. I'm not sure exactly where it is. It's not going to be far off top 15, so I think I'm hopeful that he's going to secure that place by right.
Dimitri Shumak.
Oh, he doesn't have the legs.
And he stays in third place in the clean and jerk and third place overall.
Well, I just see Liu of China having missed 2 attempts at 2:15. He's gone up to 2:19. Seems a bit crazy to me. I guess the only thing he's playing for now are the medals.
Yeah. Just a point to prove for himself and maybe get a medal to take home. But Zielinski now this is his third and final attempt. So 4 kilo increase, 218. He's a really good competitor. And these 4 kilos will take him to 395, which would enhance his lead in both the clean and jerk and the overall. So still 4 men in the wings, so to speak, who've yet to start. Kidibayev, Utashov, Kosov, Straltsov.
Oh, pushed it forward, or pushed himself back, whichever way you want to look at it. Never underneath the bar. See here, the clean is very strong, just rounds his back a little. That's his style. And here, pushes himself backwards.
This is where I belong. These are the peaks against which my actions are measured. I need to prepare, to be ready, to make all the suffering count. Heart pounding, blood pumping,
all the way, buddy.
Chasing new targets with an insatiable hunger. driven by forces that few can understand. The instinct, not just to survive, but to conquer. And the passion of my people will get me over the line. This is my season. I live for winter. Bring it on.
I am faithful. I am obsessed. I've chosen to believe, to share the moment. You can only understand my devotion if you share my passion.
Weightlifting World Championships, 21st to 28th of November, live on Eurosport 1 and Eurosport 2.
Well, he's stuck where he is, and Zelensky, his destiny now in the hands of others. There are four men who haven't, well, three men who haven't started, and the other man still got 2 attempts. But now the last opportunity for our Chinese friend to pull something out of the bag, because that's what this is all about. Michaela's got the thumbs down.
I just can't see him doing this. He was
in the
nowhere,
mode of a Roman emperor.
he was nowhere near on the 215.
Watching the gladiators in the stadium and the emperor going thumbs down.
It's his commentator's fate now. He's going to get it. Oh.
He's got the clean. Now, is he going to defy?
Oh, I don't believe it. How on earth did he do that? That is a brilliant lift. Fair play. I'll give him credit on that one. Just how hard, oh my goodness. He had to dig so deep there. Hopefully he hasn't done any serious damage, but you can see that he is clearly in pain.
But 219, you know, he has produced 221 in last year's World Championships, in winning last year's Asian Games. So 219, in terms of sheer numbers, he knew this was within his compass, but that's taken a monumental effort.
Just staggers all over the place. It shows how important the stability is in the shoulders and the back when you're staggering around. You don't want to be jarring anything, and he had to work so hard just to hold it.
Fantastic determination. So here comes one of the men yet to start, Utashov, who had that, well, half controversial decision, but it was the right one to press him out. He's only got 1 out of 3 so far, but 220 kilos, first attempt. Now, he was down in 10th place, and he's opening up just a kilo shy of his teammate, the defending champion, Kiribayev.
Klim is very strong.
And of course, Didzbalis, the failure that he had has made life easier for the likes of Utashov and Kiribayev to close up, because they don't have a medalist to contend with. Streltsov still to go, but here he is, 220 kilos. Lighter than Utashov, so for this for the lead in the clean and jerk. Quite impressed with that.
Yeah, no facial expressions. Looked, I wouldn't say effortless, but looked very composed and very focused.
Yeah, and very quiet. You notice the whole exercise was very quiet.
Just walked on, did the job, got off. Time to go and refocus now. 2 attempts remaining. He needs to maintain his composure. Really good extension.
Well, maybe we are going to be in for an exciting finish here. So Streltsov into the lead with an overall total of 395. Second place, Utashov, 392, 391, clinging on Zielinski. And now Venskel, 4th place, 391, but going for 220, 7 kilo increase. Yeah, no worry about the little helicopter rotation there, as long as his feet are in line and the body is stable. So suddenly we've got into a really good move here. 220 kilos, and that takes him up to 398, and he takes the lead overall. Third in the clean and jerk. Now that's related to body weight. Kiribayev now. $221.
Well, the showman is out, just taking a look around, absorbing the applause. 221 on the board.
Yeah, 389 and, sorry, 398, I beg his pardon, and weighing in at 93.74. Gets into the lead ahead of Venskell. Good lift, but of course, two of his opponents have disappeared, haven't they? Kosov, who led him at halfway, Dizbalis, who's bombed out.
I think one or two of these lifters are going to find themselves in contention for medals where maybe they didn't think that would be possible at the start, but it just shows that anything can happen on this kind of platform when lifters are under pressure, chasing Olympic qualification. Sometimes that pressure can be too much, and for two of the lifters here today, they failed to make a total.
So I think it's going to be Udashov to come out, as you can see here. Udashov now, at this moment in time, 4th overall, so he's about 6 kilos off the leaders. Off the leader, just looking at this, 7 off Kiribayev and 6 off Venskell in 2nd place.
That's okay.
402, his total.
Well, these guys now, pretty much all of them have taken 10 kilo jumps to go from 120 to 130. This is where consistency is important.
Yeah, Utashov, who posted 405 as his target total. He's got one more attempt, so he's very much on plan at the moment, despite the fact that he had 2 failures in the first half of the competition. And Kiribayev also looking for a finishing total of 405, the 2 Kazakhs. Now, where are we going now?
Number 8, 2, 3, 4. Record.
234, that would be an attempt at a new world record.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. That's Ilya Ilin's record.
Ooh.
You don't take that on lightly, do you? Set in the London Olympic Games, 233, so it's just that necessary kilo. We haven't got there yet. Straltsov now, 230.
No, he's not getting that. Too much movement in the right elbow for my liking.
Well, he was looking for 405. Everybody rejoices, convinced they've got the good lift.
Oh,
2-1.
you've got to be kidding me.
Well, this is where you'd expect the jury to stand. Well, you would be looking for the jury to step in.
The only thing I can see that would make it difficult to make the call is as he does the jerky twists, kind of disguising the press out. It's a perfect angle. Well, if that's not a press out, I don't know what is. There's definite movement in the right elbow.
seed Ronnie O'Sullivan. The UK Championship, tomorrow, live on Eurosport 2.
The last Grand Prix before the final in Barcelona. And performing in front of their own fans, Hanyu, the Olympic champion, and the brilliant Mao Asada, back after a year off. Both targeting their season's best. NHK Trophy from Japan, today, live on Eurosport 2.
Well, the big 10-kilo increases continue. Strautsov has gone into the lead with a total of 4:05. He leads Utashov with 4:02. Kiribayev on 3:99. Venskel on 3:98. 10-kilo increase, not in his head.
It was a
disappointing finish too.
Desperate attempt to try and stay with the medals. Personal best of 2:20, so putting an extra 10 kilos on, you can kind of understand that it's going to test you psychologically.
Yeah, he's finished on a total of 3:98, Venskel, and I've got his previous best at 3:86, so that's some improvement anyway. But fourth place, fourth after the snatch, fourth at the moment in the clean and jerk, fourth at the moment in the overall. So in bronze medal positions, the champion, here he is, Kiribayev, coming out to go from 2:21 to 2:31 to take him to 4:09, which will give him a 4-kilo advantage over Strautsov. He would then have one further attempt, but so has Strautsov, and Utashov still alive as well.
Nope. Can just say, see him taking in a couple of desperate breaths. These lifters with the bar on the shoulder will just do a couple of short, sharp breaths rather than deep breaths because they don't want to lose the chest position.
He's going to have to follow himself, or he's going to have to make a brave decision, which is to put the kilos up to put in Utashov or Strautsov, and I don't think that's possible. And
no, I think he's going to take the same weight again. At the moment, nobody has succeeded with this weight, so it would be enough to put him into the lead on the clean and jerk. He's guaranteed a medal, that much is for sure. Question is, which colour? Don't think it's a sensible decision to put the bar up, though.
Well, I'm interested to see what's going to happen after this with Utashov and Strautsov both going for a clean and jerk world record. 2:34, they've both posted that kilo more than Ilya Ilin's record. And, you know, this might, if he can get this, I mean, I'm not looking that, I'm looking on and I'm not feeling that encouraged, but if he could get this and go to 4:09, he puts the pressure on the other two.
He certainly would.
And he could be, you know, when you think about it, going for a clean world record of 2:34.
Well, we can see him in picture now. Clock's just gone sub 50 seconds. He's messing around with those wrist supports. Same kind of problem as we've discussed with the knee supports. Takes him a while to get them on. Clearly tweaked his elbow or his forearm in some way. One attempt remaining. Is it going to be bronze, or is he going to put himself in the gold medal position?
Well, now we get the moment when we find out what champions are made of. Never easy to win a title, and many would say even harder to defend it, but that's what he's got to try and do. Oh, no.
Didn't quite get enough upward momentum on the bar, dived under in the hope, and it really was a hope.
So the champion of 2014 now is the bronze medalist of 2015, lying in third place in the clean and jerk and the total, having missed out really through those two snatch failures. That's what's given him a real task in the second half. Those two failures at 183, and now Utashov 234, having the impertinence, the impudence to go after Ilya Ilin's record of 233 set in the London Olympics, on his way to gold. He lies in second place. 402 kilos he has as his accumulation at the moment. The leader, Streltsov of Belarus, has 405. It's Kazakhstan versus Belarus. One attempt remaining for each man. Well, it means that Vadim Streltsov of Belarus is the 94-kilo champion of the world with 405 kilos. One attempt left. Streltsov can come onto the stage, go for the world record, knowing that his ambition for the day has been achieved. So it's ended up a bit of a damp squib, hasn't it?
Just a few lifters underperforming here.
But these, you know, these are serious weights.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody ever in the world has lifted this weight at this body weight. So exactly what it says on the tin. New world record attempt. Final lift of the competition.
Well, I wonder whether the president of his country, Mr. Lukashenko, is looking on here. Keen sportsman. His favourite sport, his passion is ice hockey, but nonetheless he might have one eye on this. So 234.
And he's cleaned it.
Oh. And
No, pushed himself backwards.
not to be. He's got the championship, but not the record. And Ilya Ilin's record remains 233. But Vadim Streltsov, a much better second half. Only came forward with 175 kilos. He was lying in sixth place at the halfway stage. But circumstances have conspired to give him the opportunity to show his prowess and strength in the clean and jerk, to go 220, 230 and end up with 405 kilos and the championship gold medal. And 405, you can't complain. I mean, he's set new marks again. Another man who's come from 85 kilos up to 84, and there the clean and jerk results you can see. And two men on 230, but body weight coming into play to decide those medals. And then a gap down to Kiribayev, the defending champion, 9 kilos off. And for the Kazakhs, that's not gone quite to plan. Streltsov, though, for Belarus. Just looking down the medal roster, that is the first gold medal, men or women. So there is the result by 3 kilos to Streltsov over Utashov. Kiribayev, the defending champion, 399. And then Venskal of Belarus, who couldn't pick up the bar on that third attempt, left in fourth place. And Thomas Zielinski in 11th place, older brother Adrian 5th overall.